Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. So the video today is well, was supposed to be more videos, but I think this is going to be the last one and the second video for this car. You might have seen the first video for this, which is this video here, and as I said on the description of that video, the video for that, it was gearbox related. I didn't really show you anything, to be fair with you. We fixed the problem. I showed you what the symptoms were, and I've showed you what the fix was. I didn't really show you any details, so I left my promise in there. Next time I have one of these that needs the exact same job, I'm going to focus only on the main problem, and I'm going to take you through all the bits and bobs in there, because I think that's probably the bit with more science attached to it, if you will. Anyway, the next video is this video, which title or thumbnail will might tell you. So after the gearbox video, you might have seen we were left with a few warning lights in there and a few other issues to resolve. So one of the other issues, which I actually started recording, which was for the boot. The boot was not closing. So the boot will close the way it is, but it would not latch, it would not lock. It was always open. And I've actually started to record a video for it, but I ended up never doing it. But in the end, this was the issue. Okay, so what I've done is, inside this cog there is a spring assembly at the back, and what I've done is, before I slide this back in, I rotated the 2 turns counterclockwise, and then I put it in, which means when the motor rotates this and pushes this forward, the pressure of the spring is going to be higher, which is going to be more to push it all the way back again, which obviously before was getting stuck at the front. So hopefully this will fix the problem. We're going to try it, but I see no reasons why it's not going to work now. I can feel the pressure as I try to rotate this to push it forward. I can feel the extra pressure now. So it was that simple that I just didn't made a video for it. The next problem was parking system. So the parking system, when you would engage reverse, the little LED. Actually, let me take, because I think we can go into the car now. So as you can see, I still have the front grille removed, still there on the floor, because it needed 2 sensors, and was these 2 middle sensors, which you can get to. Well, I've started to put things back together, but once you take all these screws here, you can actually kind of push this forward a little bit, and you can get to the sensors without removing the bumper. So, but yeah, so when you would engage reverse, actually this thing here would just start flashing, which is not flashing now. Yeah, it was just throwing a fault for 2 sensors, for those 2 middle sensors. And the next issue we were left, which is going to be, actually I need to go back a little bit, the other issue was the car is overheating. I think I explained you that on the gearbox video. The car overheats when it gets to about 90. If you leave it idling, if you drives okay. If you leave it idling, gets to 90, and I don't know, maybe about 20 minutes later it just starts overheating. I found that the coolant fan is not working, so the radiator fans do not work. Now I've asked the owner to bring me a new fan, and honestly I told him to bring it to me even without really testing. I was making a video for it, but the video is now a little bit tits up, and honestly guys, I just want this car out of here. This car is here for so long with so many issues that I'm just tired of it. But I'll show you the reason why I've asked the owner to bring me a set of fans without even diagnosing anything. It's locked still. Was because the original fan was like this. It was all broken. So around here is supposed to have a ring, a little bit like, let me see if I can show you on the other fan. There is 2 fans here, and I'll be able to show you on the other one. There we go. So the second fan, as you can see, you see all the blades, all the fins are attached by this ring. This one was supposed to be the same, but it's all broken. So even if this would work, would be completely unbalanced, probably will cause a lot of vibrations. And all of this is because this card I'll put this back in later, is because this car has been involved in a quite big accident. So all the beam at the front on that side is all crushed to the front. There's so many things broken around this car that's just unbelievable. I was capturing a lot of that on the video for the radiator fan, but basically what happens is he brought me the fan. As you've seen, this is broken, so I was, look, you need one of these fans, and he brought me the fan. I put it in, and the fan doesn't work. And what I've noticed is that when I unplug the fan, I get a signal coming from the ECU. I'm going to try to see if I have some clips. If I do have, I'll put them here, and you can see. So I have a little bit of a signal, which it looks like a lean bus, but I'm not sure, because the lean bus should be 12 volts, and this is like 5 volts. But this is when I unplug the module. It is a module, the fan module. So when I unplug the radiator fan, I get that signal coming from pin 50 on the ECU. And when I plug it in, that signal goes low and just disappears, as if something is wrong on the fan that is pulling the signal down. So I'm not really sure what's going on. But to start with, because I'm not 100% sure that the fan it brought me is actually good, is the predicament now. We don't have wiring issues. That's 100%. I've checked every single wire. Everything is good. So either we have a bad fan assembly, so the one he brought me is used, obviously. Either that is faulty as well, because the first one, the one that's on the car, didn't work either. So we have this thing here, but because it was broken all around, I just told them you need another one regardless. And now that I put the new one, I've been doing a little bit of investigation, but either he has fan assembly that's bad again, or he has a problem on the ECU, and the ECU is not giving the signal for the fan to run. One of the two. But because I don't have really how to test these fans, unless it's plugged in on onto the ECU, that's it. I'm not going to waste too much time, and as I said, I'm just going to tell him most likely this is faulty. I don't have any reasons to believe the ECU is faulty, so just to say that. But yeah, so I'm just here talking for something that is not even related to this video. So this video is, the next issue is that. So we're left with that. The ESP light sometimes comes on as well, and then goes off, but the ABS light is always on. Now, I did scan the car. So we have here the sensors that I replaced at the front. So I did scan the car, and I know what the faults are, but I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so if you go to diagnosis, if you go to control unit list, and if we do go to brakes, trouble codes, I hope I don't have any. I might have trouble codes for model modules coming to here. Yeah, loads of stuff. Yeah, batteries, etc. But the code I'm really pointing to is this 00287. There it is. ABS wheel speed sensor rear right. Okay, there we go. So I can tell you that if we go to live data, and we go to my ABS sensors, I'm just going to go rear left and rear right. I'm going to do this, and we're going to be able to see. I can't go too much because I have a car behind, but I think we'll be able to see. Oops, and the brake. So, can you see the rear right? Sometimes he actually reads, but it's not reading right now. There we go. So as you can see, sometimes he actually reads. I've seen some readings coming from it, but it looks like he doesn't want to do it now. Anyway, so as you've seen, the sensor is definitely not reading. Now, these guys, might be that is just a, I don't know, might be that is just a sensor replacement, but because I don't know, it might be something else. So we're going to record it, If it becomes something really silly, nah, I will record it. I will show you. Either way, I will show you. So let's gonna get the wheel out and start to investigate. Okay, and you know me better. You know that I would just go and replace parts unless one, they are broken, or second, I test and I know they are faulty. So the first thing we're doing now is obviously measuring the wiring, and this is my first pin actually that I'm checking. So I had to take the battery off to unplug the ABS module. As we can see, we do have 1.4. We do have a lot of connections, so the below 1 ohm is a little bit difficult to get, but regardless of that, I'm happy with that connection. So now let's gonna move the pins. Actually, I can do that while recording. Gonna move these pins into the next one. Okay, that's the next pin. Now let's gonna look. Should be pins, I forgot now, I think 11 and 12 or something along those lines, if I recall correctly. So let's gonna look for the next pin, which is gonna be either the one after or the one before. Here's the one after. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so that's good. 0.5 ohms. Now I'm just confused why I'm not getting below 1 ohm on the other one then. Would it be a poor connection somewhere? I actually got 0.5 ohms on that one. Let me move into the next one again, but put it on a different place maybe. That makes a difference at all. Probably doesn't, but you never know. Oh, there we go. So actually it was just the probe was not very well inserted at the back earlier, but as you can see we have the two wires here, so I'm happy with that. So now, yes, things starts to point to a bad sensor. One new sensor later, that's the old one. I'm gonna show you. A little bit of glare. Hopefully you will be able to still see it. Oh, it's really difficult to turn this thing. Can you see it there? Right, so the only thing we need to make sure now is that the reluctor ring is good and it doesn't have any gaps. But for that I'm going to put the wheel back on because it's easier to turn this thing. With the wheel back in place, I should be able to turn the wheel consistently, and we should be able to keep that line reading all the time. If there is brakes on the reluctor ring, we're going to see obviously a dip. Oh, hold on. There we go. There we go. So that should be okay. We just need then to go for a test drive, but looks like we have a fix. Everything is done, and I moved the Volkswagen Amarok from behind this car so we can go for a drive and give you a good test. But for now, let's just put ignition on, clear all those codes in there. Turbo codes. There we go, that's now passive. We're going to erase this. There we go. We should be good to go. It's going to be just the fact that I had the battery disconnected. So we're going to have to do the left and right, or right and left. There we go. Sweet, look at that, no warning lights, unbelievable. So let's gonna go for a drive and just make sure he's good. I will point the camera to some live data, and then I'm guessing we will wrap up this. And it looks like this was a very, very good and very good, very easy. I think I deserve some easy ones sometimes. So yeah, fingers crossed I'm not speaking too soon. Let's go for a drive and confirm the repair. Both rear sensors on that graphic. Reverse, let's go. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Oh, the glare. But I think you can see what's going on in there. Oh, the glare is just terrible. But I think you can see what's going on. So 2 perfect readings. I'm gonna go at the end of the road and come back, and I think I'm gonna wrap up this video. And here it is. Here we are, actually. Just driving back home. Should be good. There we go. So it drove absolutely perfect with no faults, no nothing. So yeah, absolutely fine. Live data looked fine. So that's it, guys. Really easy job. Still, there's not the fact that I was straight an ABS sensor does not rule the fact that you need to do the checks first, because if we had a wiring issue, for example, we would have been putting a new sensor and would be left with the same issue. So it is always important to do the right checks before you start to replace parts. But in this case, in the end, was just a sensor. So with no further ado, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I know there's nothing special. Hope you learned something. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. If you do still have any questions or any comments, guys, you know exactly how it works. Just put them right below. And like always, thanks for watching.